Hi everyone! Now you may or may not have noticed that I've been off booktubing and YouTube for a couple of weeks, and that's because a couple of weeks ago something happened, and I'm not going to go into it over the internet or anything, but I just haven't been able to make videos. And I tried to make a book review a couple of weeks ago, but my mind just wasn't in it and I couldn't even form coherent sentences really. So I'm really sorry about that, but I'm back. I just wanted to let you know that I'm back. I've got a video here today. It might be a bit of a simple video, but I wanted to give you something. And also, if I have time later today, then I'll do that book review as well, which is definitely coming because I got the book off NetGalley, so I really want to review it as soon as possible. But today I'm going to talk about my top 10 films of all time, and I really hope you enjoy this video. These films are in no particular order, but number 10 is Beetlejuice. This is a Tim Burton film which stars Alec Baldwin, Gina Davis and Winona Ryder when she was a lot younger. I love Tim Burton films. I'm a huge fan of Tim Burton. He's just so wacky and imaginative, and I just think he's incredible. So Beetlejuice is about a couple who get into a car accident and they die, but when they die they get stuck in their house and they can't get out, and then a new family moves into their house. So the couple enlist the help of Beetlejuice, who's this kind of poltergeist guy played by Michael Keaton. Well, they soon find out that Beetlejuice is absolutely crazy and tries to kill everyone. So they're trying to send him back where he belongs and tries to get rid of him. I thought it would be really scary, but it's not scary, it's really funny. So if you've heard that it's a really scary film, it's not. Just thought I'd let you know. But it's really brilliant film. Number 9 is Juno. This is a Diablo Cody film that stars Ellen Page and Michael Cera. Juno is about a girl who gets pregnant from her boyfriend, so she decides to give the baby up for adoption. So she finds this couple who are looking to adopt a baby, and the whole film is basically about her pregnancy, how people are feeling about her pregnancy, and just their lives, how they're coping with all these difficulties that are going on. This film surprised me a lot because it is very funny. There are some really good one-liners in there, but it's also very emotional, and as it gets towards the end, I was surprised how touching it was. It was brilliant, and this is definitely one of my favourite films. So number 8 is a film that I'm sure a lot of you have heard of. It's Love Actually. This has got more or less an all-star cast, and so I'm not going to reel off the names, but it's got Hugh Grant, Colin Firth, Emma Thompson, Alan Rickman, those sorts of people in it. This is about the individual lives of a load of people in Britain and the sort of love that is going on in their lives at the moment. I think it's around Christmas time. But this film is so good because it doesn't just concentrate on romantic relationships, it concentrates on the love between a father and his son, the love between a brother and sister, the love between a group of friends. It's just all different types of love, and it's such a heartwarming film and a real feel-good film as well. So if you're looking for one of those, definitely check out Love Actually. The number 7 is a film I've only actually seen recently, but I love it so much, and that is The Breakfast Club. I think it was made in the 80s. Don't quote me on that, but I think it's the 80s. And it's one of those films that sounds more boring than it actually is. It's about a group of teenagers who get put into Saturday detention, and you've got in there the jock, the prom queen, the geek, the kind of weird emo sort of kid, and the kind of guy who always does drugs and is going to end up in prison. So they're very stereotyped, but as the film goes on and they get to know each other, those stereotypes really break down and you get to see who they actually are as a person, and it really makes you think that you don't know everything about someone, and by the end of it you've just got this whole different outlook on who people are, and you think, I think I know you, but it turns out I really don't, and that's the kind of thing you come out of the film with. It just changes how you see people. Number 6 is one of my favourite foreign films of all time. It's Pan's Labyrinth by Guillermo del Toro. I love Guillermo del Toro so much. He's an absolute genius. If you haven't seen any of his films, just go and watch his films. They're fantastic, especially Pan's Labyrinth, or El Laberinto del Fauno if you want to pronounce it in Spanish. which you might not, but you might want to. Anyway, so Pan's Labyrinth is set in Spain, post-Civil War time, and it's about a girl called Ophelia who goes to live with her stepdad because her mum's really ill and she's dying and she's pregnant as well, so she can't look after her. And her and her mother go to live with her stepdad, and her stepdad's really horrible and she really doesn't like her life. So she escapes into this sort of fantasy world where she meets this faun who tells her that she's the princess of the underworld, and she has to complete these 3 tasks to prove that she is actually the princess of the underworld and she can go back home. This film has been described as a fairy tale for adults, and I completely agree with it. It's very fairy tale like, but it's very, very dark, and there's lots of violence and horrific kind of things that happen in it. But then it's got that very dark fairy tale element to it when she has to complete these challenges and she's talking to this faun. And the whole time you're not sure if it's real or if it's just going on in her imagination. So you're constantly halfway in real life and halfway into the fantasy world. And it's such an amazing film, the imagery and the imagination that went into the storyline. It just goes to show that Guillermo del Toro is one of the best filmmakers ever. Number 5 for me is Moulin Rouge. This is a Baz Luhrmann film. If you've seen Leonardo DiCaprio's version of Romeo and Juliet, you'll know how weird and wacky and wonderful his films are. So Moulin Rouge is about a guy called Christian who moves to Paris in the 1600s, I think, around about that time. And he wants to be a writer and he wants to write about love, but he's never fallen in love, he's never experienced love, so he doesn't know how to write about it. And then he comes across a group of people who take him to Moulin Rouge, where he meets a prostitute called Satine, who's like the star there. So he meets her and they fall in love, but it's a very sort of star-crossed lovers kind of thing because she can't fall in love because she's a prostitute and that's her job, and he's constantly trying to win her love. So it's very complicated, and there's other guys in the mix as well, and the Duke is 100% evil. I really don't like him in the film, but he's a brilliant character anyway. I love this film because it's very cheesy, lots of musical numbers and dancing around and bright colours and cheesy grins, but then it gets very dark and very sinister and very emotional, and to see the contrast between the two, it's shocking, but it's brilliant. It makes you think that their lives aren't all fun and games, and while they're kind of taking the mick out of it at the beginning, by the end you really see how serious it is, and the chemistry between the actors is amazing. I just love this film. Number 4 is a film that, yet again, I've only seen recently, but I love it so much, and that is Spirited Away. This is a Japanese anime film about a girl called Chihiro who's moving house with her family when she comes across this spirit world, and her parents get turned into pigs because they kind of cross into the spirit world. So she has to get a job at the bathhouse in order to try and rescue her parents and go back home. If you've seen any other really good anime films, can you please let me know what they are in the comments, because this is the first one I've seen, I think, and I absolutely loved it. It was fantastic. And No Face, I know you turned good in the end, but you still scare me so much. So it's quite scary as well, but that was my phone. It's scary, but really, really brilliant, and the animation is incredible, and I just love it. So number 3 is a film that I'm sure you've all heard of, and this has been my favourite film since I first saw it when I was really, really little, and that is The Lion King. I love The Lion King. I'm not going to go into what it's about because I'm sure you've all seen it, and if you haven't, I don't know where you've lived. Just pause this video, go out, get a copy and watch it right now. What I love about this film is the characters, and the storyline is so powerful, and I cry from beginning to end because I know what's going to happen, and I just don't stop crying every time I watch it. And the singing, just the music, it just gets to me every time, and I love it. And for something to be made for a child and yet to be so powerful, I think anyone can watch it, no matter what age, whether you're male or female, anyone can watch it and anyone can enjoy it. Number 2 is a film which is actually coming out on DVD soon, so yay, I pre-ordered it, and that is Perks of Being a Wallflower. This film was actually made by the author Stephen Chbosky. The book is one of my favourite books of all time, and this is one of the few times that I can say the film actually did live up to the book, which is shocking because that never happens. Perks of Being a Wallflower is about a boy called Charlie who's a bit of a wallflower. He hasn't really got any friends and he's starting his first day of high school. He goes along for his first day and he meets these two seniors called Sam and Patrick, who basically bring him out of his shell and show him what he's missing and invite him to parties and really make friends with him. He just goes through the year and it's just about his year at school with these people as friends, and it's such a powerful, emotional film. It looks really cheesy when you see the trailer, but it's really not. It's a really, really powerful, amazing film, and I think I relate to it so much as well, which is one of the reasons why I love it. And I just watch it over and over and over again and I wouldn't get bored. It's so good. I've already seen it in the cinema, like twice, I think, and I'm getting it on DVD, so it's a brilliant film. My battery's running out, so I'm going to do number 1 really quickly, and that is Life is Beautiful. This is an Italian film, which is one of my favourite films of all time, yet again. It's brilliant. It's hard to explain what happens without giving anything away, so I'm just going to say the first half is a really cheesy kind of romantic story between this man and this woman, and the second half of the film is a really dark, sad, kind of horrifying second half of the film, which actually shocked me when I first saw it. I didn't think it was going to go in that direction, but it did. And the characters in this are incredible. Every time I cry, I laugh, I'm happy, I'm sad. It just makes you feel so many emotions, and that's why it's brilliant. So that's my top 10 films of all time. I hope you enjoyed that, and I'll try and get a book review out as soon as possible, but my battery is just about to go, so I'm going to go as well. So I'll see you next time. Bye!